Yeah, so today's topic is essentially how do you reimagine the donated goods processing with AI computer vision technologies? And we will run through the solution, how it's going to work, and also the benefits that we see in the business, and also a quick video demo as well as there as part of the presentation today. So, yeah. So before we jump into the actual topic for today, I also wanted to introduce our Dorise solution. So our Novus Dorise covers end-to-end of the donated goods retail ecosystem, I would say. So we have modules that can handle donation, tracking, recording, and printing out receipts. We have the inventory ingestion, which is where we have the processing module, where we have both manual as well as the video production. Video production being the topic for today. We also have modules to handle your new goods management, including vendor management, purchase orders, and so on. We have a very, very powerful point of sale module that integrates well with the production and the donation modules. We also support multiple form factors and devices, not just the counter point of sale, but also the line buster point of sale, self-checkout, etc. We have a stock management module as well, which covers the stock reconciliation, stock transfers between your warehouses, stores, and also doing your inventory valuations, etc. We have several reports, more than 100 plus reports available, both on the application as well as on the technology called Power BI. So we have both the operational reporting as well as the analytical reporting in place. And apart from that, we also have the customer engagement module. We have loyalty tracking. We have mobile apps for customer experience engagement with the Goodwill organization. And we also have a customer donor portal for them to log in and look at the historical transactions, update their personal information, and so on. Right. So this is our gamut of our solution across multiple modules. Yes, I think what we will cover today is what is the challenge we are trying to address here, right? So we're looking at how donated goods are processed currently, and what are the challenges with that, right? And we look at also the side-by-side comparison between the before and after, I would say, right? The current processes and the AI-powered processes, how they're going to work. And also, if you're looking at how our AI solution actually is going to work, so we'll see how the setup is and how the camera is positioned, how it's going to identify the garments and the various attributes around it, and what is the business impact, right? So what are we getting at? So once we have this solution like this in place, what are we getting at in terms of the benefits? And how it also ties into dynamic pricing, wherein you'll be able to arrive at the most optimum pricing for your solution as well, right? So that's what we're looking at. And currently, the solution is also in real world pilot. We're constantly getting some feedback from our customers as well, as we move towards really putting this into a live production scenario, right? So yeah, that's the agenda for today. Yeah. So what are we looking at, right? Currently, Goodwills do manual processing, right? So essentially, there are multiple roles in the production floor. We have a processor, we have barcoders, we have sorters, we have people who actually gather the donation bags and units, and then identify them, obviously, and then through a chart or a manual card available, they look at the categories, subcategories. They also price the items based on their past experience, right? And then when you have variations of your different categories, subcategories, it always becomes a challenge as to assigning the right price to a product. And you're not also in the position to associate the required attributes to a garment as well, because the processor are always running against time. They always have targets to meet as well. So there is a challenge in terms of what attributes you're able to associate with an item, right? So the more the attributes you have, the better the pricing can be for the product. That way you will have the most and the optimum pricing assigned to a product, and you will have faster sell through of your items as well, right? So And also when you have different people coming in, you have high onboarding as well. You'll have to train these people in terms of categorizing the product in the right way, assigning the right price as well, discarding what is not up to the mark, and so on. So to summarize, you have problems such as fewer data points being captured, the quality and the price assigned is really staff dependent, and the training dependent here. And the pricing inconsistencies are also there because you're not always in the position to capture the required attributes for your pricing as well, right? So, which obviously leads to underpriced high value items and also missed revenue, which are some very critical aspects to it, right? So, yeah. So if you look at it, some of the numbers that we have noticed, I think the if you're looking at the manual barcoding time takes about 15 to 80 minutes per rack. So, and you'll have about more than 75% of items do not have brands identified, right? And then 30% of items are underpriced. So you should have assigned a higher price to them. And then you also have two roles to the processing workflow as well. So you have processors, barcoders, you have multiple people assigned as well. That way, that is also something that it leads to a duplicated effort that you're looking at, right? So now I've also drawn here a comparative analysis between the manual processing and the AI-powered processing, which is what we're going to see today. So if you divide this processing workflow into 6 different steps, right? That's what you see here. So sorting and receiving donated garments is manual. With AI as well, it happens manually. Right. So you'll have to really sort them and then move them to the AI bench, as we call it, right? And then you have the identification of the category and subcategory or the product types is manual. With AI, it becomes through the AI capabilities. And then capturing the brand size and associated attributes such as color, etc., is manual. And then with AI, AI is able to identify that for you. And then if you're looking at the pricing and the setting the right pricing, it is manually selected by the barcoder who's actually printing out the labels. With AI, it is automated because you're able to identify these categories and attributes. And using behind the scenes pricing matrix, you're able to fetch the exact pricing for the product and then assign to it. And the labels are automatically printed out for you as well. That is automated. In case of manual, the barcoder asked to call for the printing label step, which is then manually happens. And then affixing the label and hanging the garments as well, it's going to be manual in both cases, right? So if you're looking at the new AI-powered process, it is 4 out of 6 steps are automated or AI-powered, thereby increasing the productivity and pricing consistency, and also reduction in the duplicated efforts, as we saw in the previous slide, right? So that's what you have here. Now, so I've also brought some screenshots here in terms of comparing what a manual processing looks like versus an AI-powered processing. So screenshots that you see here is how a manual processing is done. So I've brought some of the screenshots from our own module, right? So where we have the manual processing capability. So as you can see here, after you open the processor application, you've got different tiles for your categories. And as you tap on them, it'll further open up different subcategories or product types. And then as you see on those screenshots, the bottom of the screen and also on the right side of your screen, you've got various attributes that the barcoder has to manually select, right? So here you have a list of brands being showcased for you, and then the barcoder is tapping on one of the chosen brands, if the brand is really visible and available for them, and then the color and the size, for instance, right? So these are certain things manually being picked for the barcoder, and once it is manually picked, the item gets added to the processing grid. So as you can see here, we've got about 3 items processed. And once you're done with the production batch, you're then you can then print on the you can then tap on the print button and get the labels printed, right? So here to summarize, the manual processing happens step by step. You've got a series of steps to follow. The attributes are also selected one by one. and physical garment inspection is being done by the barcoders, right? So the garments have to be looked at, and then based on the staff's training, the capability and experience, they're able to select the right categories for the item, right? So that's how it happens. Now, coming into the AI processing here, right? So this is our video production module. So as you can see here, we have brought the categories to the bottom of the screen, and you have the camera connected to the application. And as the barcoder takes the garments and places in a hanger and puts it in front of the camera, you can see that the all the attributes, and most importantly the category, that men's clothing and men's shirts short sleeve, is automatically selected for you. And the fact that the brand is also visible through the label, Levi's brand is also selected for you, and the color is also identified. The size also is also identified. Size, yeah. So I mean, there is obviously, we are further working on optimizing it. The accuracy may not be all that great, but you still have a prompt available. You still have an identification available for the processor to either accept it as it is or make corrections, right? Now the point is, you still have these tile buttons at the bottom of the screen. So there are always humans in the loop. So while the AI automatically identifies these product categories, subcategory, and various attributes, humans are also asked to sort of verify it, confirm it before you actually move it to the production grid, right? And the other important thing that you also notice is that you're able to also capture the photo of the garment as well, into the production grid on the left side, right? So the production grid also captures the photographs for you. Thereby, these thumbnails are also visible, and when you tap on them, it also shows the larger size photograph as well. So this is something which is definitely not available in the manual processing, right? That's again a major advantage for you, because later when the garments are sent to the store floor, you're able to physically match them with the photos available on the system. Thereby, the physical comparison is also always available in the system, right? So which is not the case currently, right? So these are some various benefits. Now, again, once you finish a batch of products, this is how the video production module is going to look like, right? You can see on the left side, we've got the production colors automatically coming in, and you've got the thumbnail image of all the items, and then you have the categories, subcategories, and then you have the sizes, colors, etc. And the price automatically has been pulled in from the backend nice pricing matrix as well. Thereby, you're able to quickly process the given donated batch, right? So just to play it back again, right, how physically it happens, right? I'm going to show you a quick video as well. But idea is that the barcoders are able to pull the items or pick the items from your bin or your container that you have, right? And then from there you hang them into the rack, the hanger rack, and have it positioned in front of the cam, and then you're able to quickly identify the items and then move them to the production grid and get the labels printed out for you, right? So that's how the whole thing works, right? So now it's a two-step workflow, I would say, right? So first is, the most important thing is to identify the garment categories and subcategories, right? Which is, I think, the most important thing, because you cannot go wrong in that, right? So in our experimentation, we've reached about 95% accuracy on that aspect, which I think is very important. You definitely do not want the AI module to classify a kid's clothing as let's say men's clothing or vice versa, right? So, or women's versus men's, etc. So that is something that we have really nailed it down, right? So you've got the category, the product type, the color, and in a reasonable extent the condition as well. And apart from that, the step two would be the label and attribute recognition. So the labels have to be obviously visible, either in the collar or on the pocket or on the garment itself, right? So you have certain brands which have logos available, which are very prominent. That can be something that can be used as well, right? So we've got that. And the AI assist is also, always available. Like I said, I mean, humans are always in the loop here. We've got AI suggestions coming in, and the processor can review it, right? And then based on the confidence matches, the barcoder can go in and add the item. and the processor or the barcoder. I'm using that interchangeably because I feel that both the roles will become merge into one going forward, and then they're able to also select from a predefined set of values as well, so they can always override if needed. And then the most importantly, the overall AI model continues to learn, and then if there is a manual selection or manual overriding that happens, right, our solution knows about it. We keep track of it, we audit it, and when we retrain our model, we take that into account so that there is better accuracy going forward as well, right? So that's how the whole thing works, right? So coming into a quick demo here, right? So this is sort of a setup here. I mean, which can give you an idea of how the whole thing is physically laid out for you, right? So you have the PC, the production PC, and then you've got the camera that is attached to it, and then you've got a hanger rack in front of it. And then idea is to keep taking the clothes from the bins, and then hanging it in facing the camera. And then once the identification is over, you put it back behind in the rack. That is where the hang after identification happens, right? Now the whole thing also can be done sort of hands free, meaning the processor or the barcoder need not essentially go to the software for them to initiate this video production. That's where, as you can see in the bottom of the screen, you've got a Bluetooth clicker available, a selfie clicker, which is very popularly used when we take selfies and photographs. This is something that we pair with our PC, and then using these two buttons, we have paired it with the also the buttons on the video production module, right? For example, the first click can identify the clothing, and the second click will add it to the grid, right? So that way, the person, the processor can actually need not go to the PC. They can stay closer to the bin, and they can stay closer to the garment and the rack rather than to the PC, which means that you can pretty much do it without really moving around a lot or moving to the PC. That way, the productivity also is much higher from that perspective, right? So that's where it is. So let me just quickly, stop my screen share and get to my actual demo so that you'll be able to understand how the whole thing works. Yeah? So. Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen again. Right. So this is a pre-recorded video here of the video production module. So once you change your cam, so obviously you can also attach it with multiple cams as well. Right. So as you can see here that the person can go in and get the garments placed here, right? So and yeah, so you can see here the lady's t-shirt was identified, and then yeah, so the process can move the item back and then push it back. So in this particular recorded, we had a green screen, which is part of our initial versions. Yeah, so you have this the shirt coming in, and then the moment the hands-free clicker is tapped in, you can see that the image gets analyzed. As a first step, it was able to quickly identify the men's clothing and men's shirts, short sleeve, and then the price of 499 has come in. And then as you see, the size, color, and the brand attributes just came in as a step two, and the whole thing possibly took about 3 to 4 seconds, right? So the whole thing that happened so quickly. And once you're done with it, you can again tap on the Bluetooth clicker, which can then move the item to the production grid. And then you can keep adding your items, further to that. So here you can see one more example wherein this particular item was identified as a gray t-shirt shirt again. And then you also have the Adidas brand as well identified because of the logo that's available in front of the garment. So in this example, the label was not on the collar, so whereas it was available in the front of the garment in the pocket area, so it was able to quickly identify that as well. Yeah, so you've got a child dress as well that is currently correctly identified. You've got one more, which is ladies t-shirt as well, currently identified as well. Yeah, so yeah. So men's jacket as well is identified, the color and also the brand and the size as well. Right. So you're able to quickly get to that as well. So as you keep adding these items, you can see that within a span of about less than a minute, I think I would say. We've identified about 6 items, and as you keep moving, you're able to identify further items as well. Women clothing, ladies pants in this case. And where certain attributes are not available, you can see that those attributes are not shown on your screen. So whatever available attributes will automatically be identified. And that is identified for you, and then it's placed on the screen so that if you want, you can always retake it, or you can always correct the values before you move forward, right? So that's how the whole thing sort of works. So I'll just go back to my slides again quickly so that we can talk through on some of the benefits. Yeah, so I think the business impact, I would say, are different angles, different perspectives. You can see. So the consistent accuracy is always there, right? Because AI does look at the item right by itself. There's no person who's looking at it, so the human variability factor is removed, right? And then, but still, humans are in the loop for any corrections required, and that is something that we take back into our solution for making the identification better in the future models, right? And the better pricing also, the more attributes you capture, right, the better pricing it is, such as the brand can make a big difference. The type of garment, of course, and also the color and size maybe as well, right? So depending on the attribute, you can also have variations on your price, right? And faster processing, I think within a minute or so, within a few minutes, you'll be able to process more items than what physically a person can do manually. You have richer inventory data in terms of the thumbnail images, the complete attribute sets always travel together with each item through any sort of scanning RFID or anything else that you may have, and the continuous learning as well, right? So as the feedback comes back into a solution, there is continuous learning, and the accuracy also improves over time as well, right? So the system gets smarter as you continue using them, right? And ultimately, there is also a feature of AI flagging high value branded items. You may configure certain brands as premium brands. That can be flagged for e-commerce listing, which means that you can automatically push them to an e-commerce pipeline as well, right? So that is something that you can do, right? So yeah, so to sort of looking at it, so more attributes definitely is equal to smarter dynamic pricing. So as part of our solution, we also have a machine learning based dynamic pricing model. So whatever AI captures in terms of all the attributes, it flows into your pricing rules behind the scenes, and also to your boutique or e-commerce sales, and then the dynamic pricing machine learning model as well, which then basically leads to faster sell through, lesser markdown. I think the idea is to sell all the items the first or the second week. You do not want them to cross over multiple weeks and eventually end up in the outlet sale, which obviously means that you're selling that item at a very, very less cost, right? And more mission funding, right? Ultimately, that's what Goodwills want. So all of the funding goes back to all your activities that the mission is doing, right? So, and we have a couple of WIP items as well. We're also looking at the internet price benchmarking. So when you flag items for e-commerce sale, we can also recommend what is the current trending price on the internet. So that way you'll be able to also pick a price for an internet flagged item or e-commerce flagged item. And then you'll also have the e-commerce listing integration, such as your own shop, Goodwill.com or Upright Labs or any other application that you may be using. So we can also integrate that with e-commerce listing as well, right? So eventually, I think it leads to increased throughput, right? Reduce labor per unit because you are basically merging multiple people into a single role. So there is one person taking the garments from the bins, and then using the hands-free clicker, they're able to not really stay seated in the production PC, but they can actually move around, keep doing it, quickly, and then improved pricing accuracy, and then thereby the ROI is something that you can achieve in a very, very short period, right? So that's what we kind of say, right? Yeah. So I think that's where we are, and so thank everyone for attending this webinar. And for more details, we've got our YouTube channel, we've got our website where these details are available. Yeah, at this juncture, we definitely like to welcome any questions you may have and take it from there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karthik. A world of information to share. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so this is a moment for anyone who has questions to put them into the chat. If not, you have Karthik's information on here, so their website. Karthik, I don't know if it's okay for me to copy and paste your email into the chat so people can grab that and then they can reach out to you if they need to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I think there is one question that has come in.
Oh, perfect.
Uh, Yeah, I think James has a question. I think how does your AI determine the price? Does it search on the internet to look for the average market price? So James, when you have these, there is a pricing matrix behind the scene. So depending on the product category, subcategory, and the attribute selected, it goes back to a system's pricing matrix and pulls the price and brings it in. So AI doesn't determine the price, but AI identifies the categories and the attributes for the software to pick the right price and show it to you, right? So only when you do not have a matching price behind the scenes, that's when we have an internet crawl that can be activated for you to go and fetch a price for you to pick up, right? So yeah, but the pricing is available in the system, it's going to pick it up on a priority basis, and then only if it is not there, it's going to go out and search elsewhere. Yeah. And then I think we've got a question from uh, Joshua as well. And I think Cheryl, I think she kind of confirmed that answer the question about the ecom price. Thank you, Cheryl. And we've got Joshua. I might have missed it. Do you have before and after time study for integrating AI pricing, or is it? Yeah. So Joe, I think we are still doing some pilot. We trying to measure those times right now. Right. So the before and after time study is still coming in, and we'll be happy to publish it once it's available in a few weeks. But definitely we are seeing that within a minute we're able to definitely identify about 25 to 30 items actually, because it just takes average about 2 to 3 seconds, right? So that's what we're looking at. So that's the measurement that we're having manually. If you see, I mean, I think every Goodwill operates slightly differently, so we are seeing variations. But in terms of benchmarking our AI pricing, but that's what we found out right now. About 25 to 30 items are able to do it in a minute. But yeah, so once we have more reliable results, we'll be happy to publish them as well. So.